You know, nowadays, everybody's trying to dress up their M4 in a certain way. They want a retractable stock this, or foldable stock that, M-lock this, key mod that. All this kind of flip up, flip down, ambidextrous. I think you guys know what I'm talking about and catching my drift here. Guys, retro is the thing. Look at all the culture that is screaming from this gun. If you haven't noticed, we've been doing a lot of kind of older, more classic looking guns lately on the channel. This one is definitely right up there. So today, I'm going to give you the hipster's guide to the SR-16 from VFC. Oh, it's a gas blowback, by the way, in case you haven't caught the drift of this whole hipster episode. Being a guide, this is the ultimate hipster's guide, so we're gonna take it easy, break it down in 6 different steps why this gun, oh yeah, is gonna be the best gun. Well, the most hipster gun you can find, at least. Starting with number 1. This is a fully licensed product from KAC, so it has all the corresponding markings on the lower receivers and anywhere there needs to be markings. So of course, you can't be a real hipster unless your gun can tote the real licensed markings. And Knights is kind of like the old cool guy brand, like the OG. The first ones that kind of come out and say, hey man, if you want to look cool, you gotta have some Knights, man. And this is where it is, the Knights armament gun. So that's the number 1 sign that you know this guy is hipster approved. OG, cool guy. Now, number 2. Reason number 2. The build quality is superb. You're not going to get a lot of wobble other than the door back here for your stock. And let's talk about this glorious fixed stock. Nowadays, everybody wants this minimalistic fold in, fold out, quick release, all this kind of silliness. But we're gonna throw it back to a more simple time. A time where you don't have to worry about all that. This fixed stock is robust, sturdy, and it got a compartment over here for you to store all of your essentials, like your coffee beans, unless you want to drink coffee while you're out there on the field. You know, I need myself some Starbucks. Of course, my lens cleaner for my lovely, gorgeous glasses, and other things that you might so happen to need when you're airsofting, like tools, but who needs any of those? Moving on to reason number 3. Rails, man. Right here, the standard, the iconic, the RIS, the rail system, the quad rail, whatever you want to call it, the 3, 6, 9, 12 o'clock, right here. This is where it's at, throwing it back to a time where things were simple. None of this key mod, M-lock silliness that you gotta rebuy all your accessories for, because let's be honest with each other, right? Like, I'm not gonna go rebuy a bunch of different accessories so I can fit it on my new rail system when everything works just so perfectly fine with Picatinny. Rip my wallet. It's it is too late for me. But you may think, Mark, come on, quad rails? What year is this? 2004? 2003, maybe. You may think as well, isn't this gonna be hard on my hands? I use my hands for serious work, like typing on a typewriter in Starbucks. Don't worry, my fellow hipsters out there. This gun also comes with 2 rail panels for you to slip on, so we won't hurt our dainty hands. And if you're so concerned about this thing tearing up your hands, I know what you're talking about. It's an airsoft gun. You're not gonna have to deal with a lot of recoil mitigation when you're Chris Costa in that thing. Now let's move on to number 4. The internals. Now, this guy uses the latest gas system and design from VFC. So I'm gonna expect the same kind of gas quality as found in the latest HK416A5 and the Forging series. We're gonna go and test the gas efficiency for you guys a little bit later in this video, and I'll make sure that it can lock that bolt back, because I've heard it You guys want to know, so we'll test it for you. Moving on. Next point, number 5. The flip up rear sight, and of course, the iconic front sight that we see on M4s. How could you go without this? How could you be a true M4 without this? Don't tell that to my current self, but still, how can you do it? You can't, because this thing just kind of ties it all together. Other than this, the gun comes with a vertical Knights style foregrip, along with its 2 rail panels, as I talked before, speed loader, and a bunch of literature for you to read. Coming up on our final point, number 6. Now, it wouldn't be a retro VFC gun if the hop-up wasn't placed in an old familiar position. Just go with it. Remove the magazine, pull the bolt back. It's right there. There's a little hole that you adjust with a really long, really thin Allen key. Because who needs convenience? It's only 2018. I'm using 0.2 gram BBs and green gas. It's time now for our gas efficiency test. So I've filled this magazine full of gas and we're going to shoot as many full mags as possible through it. It's 30 rounds per mag. Let's go. Oh, would you look at that? And the bolt locks back just fine. Next round. Round 2. Locks back again. It's like magic. Mag number 3. That is it. So 2 mags with a couple extra rounds through it on 1 charge. That is not bad. Now let's talk about the accuracy of this gun. So I'm gonna gas this up and we're gonna go to our next phase. I'm regassed and ready to go. See how accurate this gun is. Now during the gas efficiency test, I was shooting this at roughly about 20 or so meters away, and it's pretty pinpoint accurate. But now it's really time to see how exactly accurate this gun is. Love that reset. I really like the recoil impulse. The bolt seems very snappy and cycling. I like it. I like shooting, and the fixed stock just feels good. The gun is a shooter. At least from this distance away, I can definitely say it's an accurate shooting gun. Now let's go back to the studio. All right, guys. I'm just gonna be really frank with you. I find it very difficult to be relatively smug and annoying, but if you guys wanna watch the video review I did for the Forging series or the HK416A5, click the card above, or you can find the links in the description below. Find them. It's very easy. It's like hide and seek. Up there and down there. Why did I make this episode like a hipster's guide? Well, let's just take a look at the gun first. I think this, it answers your own questions. In a day and age where everything is slim, retractable, small, thin, all of this, Keymod M-Lock, all of this. This gun is kind of the contrarian to all of that. Fixed stock, quad rail, delta sight, all of this put together in this particular package is kind of contrarian if you think about where the trends are nowadays. And if you compare all the other gas blowback brands out there like GHK and now Tokyo Marui, VFC has kind of been the hipster brand of the big three. However, I think once again the gun and the platform and the system has proven itself extremely gas efficient, great recoil impulse, and in my humble opinion, it's a straight shooter that's definitely worth its price. Is it a bit of a hipster gun? Well, then I'm gonna have to ask you, what are your opinions on skinny jeans and Air Jordans? You can let me know all of that in the comment section below. Along with, do you think this gun is kind of like the hipster of the gun of the AR M4 Airsoft community nowadays? Let me know all that in the comment section below. And if you want cool products like this and many more, don't forget to check out our online store, www.redwolfairsoft.com. My name is Mark, aka Blue Steel, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode of RedWolf TV. This is really not hipster coffee, it's just it's really good actually. Have a good one.